So I'm probably driving you crazy, you know, skipping ahead and talking about Polymesh primitives and all that stuff. And we don't even know how to make anything in ZBrush yet. So let's take a step back. I'm gonna go out of edit mode. Say always switch, I'm gonna hit Control N to clear my canvas, and we're gonna go back in here and let's talk about primitives really quickly. So these are your primitives in here. There's two exceptions. There's a Z-sphere, which is a completely different thing. We'll get into that later. And then also your Polymesh3D sitting here, which again, we'll touch on that in just a second. But as far as your primitives go, you can grab any of these. Let's grab the Helix 3D. That's a cool one. We can drag it out on our canvas, go into edit mode, and this allows us to work on the object. If we are out of edit mode and we drag on our canvas, this is going to drag a bunch of copies of the thing. Neat, interesting, and you can do kind of cool stuff with this, but not what we're really looking for. So hit Control N to clear our canvas, drag out that Helix, go into edit mode, and just like we did before, we have our tool menu open over here. We're going to go down here to Initialize, and you're going to see we have some Initialize options. So if we go in here, we can change the coverage. That's going to give us more or less spans through here, or not spans, but curly cues. And then over here into your profile, you can change this to change your profile. And this is when I click open these things here, so we close that, we have these type of menu options. So we've already talked menus and submenus, but you actually go in here to, like, say, the radius. You're going to see it kind of bows out a little bit. Well, that matches this profile right here. It goes thin, thick to thin. Same here. Thinner, thicker to thinner. So if I take this dot right here and move it down, you're going to see it shrinks it down. I can make this really thin, or I can bow it out a little bit more. And if I want to, I can also go through here and grab this dot and just drag it off my canvas, and then it's gone. If I want to add it again, just click in here, and that'll add a new one. And you're also going to see it has a kind of a fall off right in here. So you can drag this up and down to sharpen that up, or kind of broaden that Bezier curve. If you want it to be linear interpolation, you can actually drag this off, but don't let go, and then drag back on, and it'll switch it from linear back to fall off. And of course, you can go through here, you can make this very wide, you can make this very thin, or you can actually go down here and reset the curve. You can flip it horizontally, flip it vertically, go through here, add some new lines. But we'll go here and we'll just pull that back up. So when you're dealing with primitives, you're going to have these kind of neat initialize options. So if we go in here to another one, the gear icon, and I'm just switching between these, and you're going to see recently used tools are just sitting over here. So here's our original Helix 3D primitive. It's still in our palette, but since we recently used it, it'll show up here. And since we modified it as a primitive, it'll show up here as Helix 3D 1, just kind of a copy of the original primitive. And then we're going to go here to the gear. Again, we can change the coverage, change the width, outer size, outer repeat, all these things, outer sections. You already know how these things work now. So you can go through here and you can make some very cool adjustments to kind of get the exact gear that you want. And all of the primitives have these exact same settings. And some of them aren't as crazy as others. I mean, if you choose the plane here and we go into Polymesh, which is Shift F here, we can see what makes up this plane. And you can go through here and you can change the H divides to make it more or less dense, the V divides, the radius, and that kind of thing. And which axis is aligned to. We'll get into axes later. So depending on the primitive, it'll have more or less options. Now, right now, if I have a plane here and I click on it, it's going to say, hey, you can't sculpt on it. All you can do is go down here to the initialize options. If you do want to sculpt on it, that's going up here to make Polymesh3D. So when we're done doing our initialized state, then you don't have to change any of these things either. If all you want is a plain old plane, you can just drag it onto your canvas, go up here, say make Polymesh3D, and you're ready to go. Now it's geometry. You're actually going to see when I had my polyframe turned on, it changed color a little bit. So now if I click on my object, and let's go up here and make our draw size bigger, it'll allow us to sculpt on our object here because we have this standard brush selected. And again, we'll get more into depth into brush sculpting, obviously, as we continue. Now, one thing to keep in mind, especially on the plane, if you go to the back here, it's going to disappear. There's some cool dynamic thickness stuff we can do later, but if you want, you can go down here to display properties at the very bottom of your tool menu. You can turn on double, and now you can see both sides. Generally, it's a good idea just to know which side your geometry is facing if it's single-sided, so I like to have that off, but if you want to, you can go down there and turn it back on. And then you're also going to notice when I go down, now that we've hit Make Polymesh3D, and we go down here to Initialize, our initialize options have changed. No longer can we change the H and V divides or any of that stuff. Now we have a new initialize menu. This is the global initialize menu for any Polymesh3D. So once you hit this button or you import an OBJ or you load up somebody's Z tool, it's not going to have any primitive options. All it's going to have is these options. And these are cool too. You can initialize with a Q cube, which is great for Z modeler stuff, a Q sphere, QGrid. And in fact, with the QGrid, it's very similar to the plane. However, if I go here to display properties, it looks like doubles on. So we'll go ahead and turn double off so you can see the difference there. But when we go down here, we see X, Y, and Z res. You can go through here and say, you know, like 5, hit tab, click 5, hit tab, and hit 5. And again, for any of these sliders, you can click and drag the sliders, or you can just tap on the slider and then type in 5 and hit enter. Now if I hit QGrid again, it's going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divisions in both axes. And if you want to orient yourself in space again, just turn on that floor and you're going to see, oh, okay, there's the floor, Y is up, Z is forward, and this is my plane here. So the big takeaway from this video is a primitive is going to have primitive options, and you can kind of set it up to be exactly what you want. And then like this, you can have a ring in here, and then you can go down here to your Initialize and say, you know what, I don't need that many divides. I want to simplify this a little bit down. So okay, that's perfect. Now when I'm ready to sculpt on it, because I can't yet, I can go back up here, hit Make Polymesh3D. Now it's a sculptable, editable primitive, or editable Polymesh3D.